guys, welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year to everybody who's watching. My name is Arushi and I make makeup tutorials, product reviews and a lot of other beauty and healthcare related videos. So today is another kind of chit-chatty kind of makeup tutorial, and today I'm bringing you the easiest and the fastest and the most comfortable party makeup look for New Year. This is not over the top, but this is just the kind of makeup that I would like to wear, and it's appropriate not just for New Year's, but you can wear it any time of the year. It's very kind of occasion neutral, and yeah, I hope that you like what you see, and let's quickly get started. Alright, so the makeup that I'm going to be doing today is going to be very heavily catered to very oily skin people. I'm going to be using powder foundation. In fact, I'm going to be using all over my face only powder products. So I do want to start off with a little bit of moisturizer, and because my skin is a little bit normal to slightly dry right now, I'm going to be using a slightly heavy moisturizer for my face. This is the Nivea Soft Moisturizing Nivea Soft Light Moisturizer, and typically I use it for my body, but today I'm going to be using just the tiniest amount for my face. What I intend to do with this is just to give myself a nice hydrated kind of base. Now, as you guys can probably tell, I've already done my eyebrows. Now the first thing I'm starting out is with my Boreline cream, and I'm going to be applying a nice amount to my lips. Next up, I am using a hydrating primer. Now the primer that I'm using is the Nyx Angel Veil primer. You guys can go ahead and use any hydrating primer, including the Nivea Men Aftershave Balm. Even that's pretty nice. You can you can use any primer that suits your skin type. Again, because I'm a little bit normal to slightly leaning towards dry skin, I want to use as many hydrating products as I can. The other thing is that because all my makeup is going to be very matte and very powdery, I am going to be mixing my primer with some liquid highlighter. The one that I have over here is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Opal, and it's the liquid version, and I'm going to be mixing it in with my primer and then applying it all over my face. The brush that I'm using to apply it to my face right now is the Real Techniques flat foundation brush. It's a part of the core collection set, and for anyone interested, I do highly recommend this set to anyone who's looking to buy a good makeup brush set. And then I'm just going to blend it in with my fingers. Okay, so my primer has been applied, and now I am just going to let it sink into my skin a little bit, settle down, and then we're going to move on to foundation. Okay, so now that the primer has set into my face, it's time for foundation. And the foundation that I'm going to be using today is the MAC Studio Fix Powder Foundation. This is what it looks like, and I am in the shade NC25. So the trick with using powder foundation today is that you want to take your buffing brush. Now I'm using the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. You can use basically any foundation buffing brush that you have available at home. Just take that, and you want to take a water spray bottle, and you want to spray the bristles of your brush a little bit and make them damp. You want to make sure that you don't dip the brush into water or anything. You just want the bristles to be damp so that they can pick up a lot more powder foundation. You also want to make sure that the foundation that you're using is meant to be used wet, and don't just use any kind of compact, because that might not give you the same kind of look. This one is very good for this kind of makeup, but you can also go ahead and use the Maybelline Dream Satin Skin 2-Way Cake. That's also meant for wet application. However, personally I would recommend this one because this is better than that for this kind of thing. So now that your brush is a little bit wet, you want to go ahead and swirl it into the powder. It's not going to ruin the powder in any way. As you can see, there's going to be no watermarks or anything. This is perfectly meant for this kind of use. So which is why I say that don't use a compact that is not meant for applying as a wet powder foundation. Just go ahead and use something that is meant for this purpose. And then after you've loaded your brush, you want to tap it a little bit all over your face, and it's just going to apply like a liquid foundation. And it's going to be that easy. And then it's going to dry down to give you a nice powder finish. So that's great. Now you want to start at the center of your face and start blending. Doesn't take a lot of product to give you a nice decent coverage. This is a pretty high coverage makeup. Even when I use it dry, it's a little more high coverage. So there you have it. So now that you've applied a nice even base, it's not a very thick layer that I've applied, nice even thin layer, you want to go in with a little bit of concealer. Now because the amount of powder that I applied is not a lot, I can do this, but I would strongly recommend, I forgot to apply the concealer before the foundation, I would strongly recommend that you use concealer before because it's a cream product. And I'm using this to conceal under my eyes. This concealer is the Maybelline Age Rewind concealer and I'm using the shade Light. And I desperately need to buy a new one because it's almost completely empty. It is in fact on its last use probably. So you want to go in with the same brush that you used before and blend your concealer. Blend it on your eyelid as well. It's going to act as a primer. And then go in with a powder brush, a dry one, not a wet one, into the same powder. Now you can use this as a dry powder again because it didn't absorb any of the water from before. And you want to lightly set your face, including under your eyes. The reason why I'm doing the base makeup first is because the eyeshadow makeup that I'm going to be doing, the eye makeup look, is not going to be very heavy on dark eyeshadows. So I can get away with that. Next up, you want to take any contour powder that you have available. Now the one that I have is the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil, and I know that it's not easily available in India, so you want to go ahead and find whatever works for you, but this is the one that I'm using. And lightly chisel out my cheekbones. Using the same powder and the same brush to contour my nose. I do want to contour my jawline a little bit before I forget. And make my earrings dance a little bit. Okay, so my contouring is done. Now I do want to bring a little bit of glow all over my face, and for that I'm going to be using my Makeup Revolution Vivid Baked Bronzer, and I have it in the shade Golden Days. Now with this, all I'm really going to do is take a bronzer brush, a big puffy one like this, and as you guys can see, this is a shimmery kind of bronzer. It's got a nice light sheen to it. It's definitely not matte. I'm going to be taking some of that on my brush, tapping off the excess and applying it all over the perimeters of my face to give myself a nice tan kind of goldeny look. I'm also going to take it over my nose because I would naturally get hit by the sun over there. So now already it's given me a slightly more tan kind of appearance, but it has not messed with my contour because underneath all that bronzer there is a matte powder that is giving me the chiseled kind of look that I want. Now for some blush, and I am using the Maybelline Colorshow blush in the shade Creamy Cinnamon. And this is not an overly pigmented blush, which is something that I actually like about it. It's just the right amount of pigmentation. So I am loading my blush brush. Do you guys want to know a nice dupe blush? This blush is very similar in color to the Benefit Coralista blush. So if you guys were planning on buying that, it's also very beautiful. And this is a very similar formula and a very similar color, just as powdery and not too pigmented, but just the right amount of pigmented. So if you guys are looking to buy a new blush and you wanted to look at that one, I suggest you go for this one. It's so much cheaper. It's a small fragment of the price, like it's 10% of the price or something as insane like that. So I would strongly suggest that you go for this one instead of that one. I have both, and it's a nice, pretty close dupe. Alright, so blushing is done. I actually love what this looks like. And now I am going in with this highlight. This is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Opal. This is what it looks like. Super shimmery, super festive. And I'm using my Forever 21 fan brush to apply this. This is also an extremely powdery product, but you want to be a little careful with this one because this is extremely high glitter. Very, very beautiful. I like how that looks, man. I'm also going to be taking it under my eyebrow, even though I'm going to go in with a different eyebrow kind of highlight. Actually, no, I'm not. This is going to be my eyebrow highlight. Okay. Alright, so I am now done with my face makeup. Let's zoom in and do the eye makeup now, shall we? Alright you guys, so today both my bronzer and my contour powder and my blush were matte products. So I'm going to be combining both of them together and I'm going to be applying them to my crease. They're going to be my crease shade as well as my transition color. By the way, the brush that I'm using on my crease right now is a brush by e.l.f. and it's just a blender brush, but I love this size and this kind of rounded shape for my crease. It's my favorite brush for my crease. Now I'm taking some more of my blush shade, the Maybelline Colorshow blush, and I'm just using it very lightly to blend out my crease shade and make it a little warmer and a little more peachy. And I'm using this color bar blending brush. It's a huge brush and I love it for blending things. The other blender brush from e.l.f. was great for my crease. Love using that. Okay, there you go. So my transition and crease are done. Next up, using the same blending brush from Color Bar, I'm going into my bronzer, which was the Makeup Revolution Vivid Baked Bronzer. And I'm just dusting the lightest possible amount. Just dusting it. This is not meant to give us a lot of color. Just a nice base. Just dusting it into my moving lid area very lightly. This is not meant to do anything because the star of the show today is not going to be the eyeshadow. This is just, you know, a supporting element. This is not the main thing. Right. So my eyeshadow look is essentially just done. Now for the great thing. I'm going to be using this. This is the Maybelline Hyper Glossy eyeliner and I have it in the shade Laser Green. I'm going to give it a nice shake and going to apply it. And I'm going to apply it directly to my lash line. And I'm not going to talk about this. You guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, so my eyeliner is done. Now while this dries, I'm going to give it a moment and then now I'm going in with my Plum Nature Studio kajal. This is the only amount that I have left now and I'm just going to use this to tightline my upper lash line. Okay, so my tight line is done and now it kind of gives your eyes like a dual color, like it's got black as well as green, whereas all we've really done is tight line with black. So next up is time for some lower lash line and for that I'm using the Rimmel Scandalised eyeliner in Nude and I am applying this to my lower waterline right now. Next up I'm using a mascara that I've never used for any videos, but I do really like it. I've used it off camera and this is the Benefit, let me show it to you, see that. This is the Benefit Roller Lash. Okay, that's about 2 coats of mascara on my upper lashes. For my lower lashes, I'm using the same mascara again and I'm just going to be applying 1 coat. So I almost forgot, but I still need to apply a nice inner corner highlight. And for that, I'm going in with the same highlighter that I used on my face, which is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector, on a teeny tiny brush. And just Dab it onto my inner corner. This is the shade Opal. Did I mention that before? I think I did. Sometimes when I'm feeling really lazy, I like to use my bronzer and highlighter for everything, even my eye makeup. I'm also going to be applying this to the high point of my brow bone, right under that arch or whatever excuse of an arch I have. Okay, great. Now I'm using a very unlikely kind of combination on my lips. It is the Maybelline Color Sensational Bold Matte in Matte 1 and the Maybelline Colorshow Velvet Matte lipstick in the shade Mysterious Mocha. And I know that it's a very unlikely combination, but this is what it looks like after it's combined. I tried it out on my hand and so far I liked it. So I'm just going to be applying a very thin layer of the pink. Now you can totally apply just pink lipstick, that goes very well with this look. But I wanted a little bit of neutral tones. But I didn't want to go straight up brown. So I'm just blending this pink so that it looks like a nice stain, and I am topping it off with a normal coat of the Maybelline Colorshow Matte in Mysterious Mocha. And it's going to give me a nice pinky kind of neutral shade. There you go. This makes a very beautiful mauvey brown and I like it. I hope you like what you see, and I will see you next time. Bye.